What you are about to hear might very well be the most important thing you encounter this year. Because I am not here to talk about theory, I am not here to repeat Sunday sermons or tell nice stories that make you feel good for a few minutes, and then fade away. What I am about to share with you is buried so deep in the oldest texts humanity has ever received, so hidden in the lines of your own Bible, that most people go their entire lives without ever knowing it exists. It is not by accident that this is reaching you today. There is a difference between hearing about God and being pulled into His reality. Each is exactly till that second place that we are going. But I need to be honest with you from the start. What is coming is not for the faint of heart. Because the truth is, everything you have ever heard about heaven, about what exists after this life, about where we go the moment our heart stops beating, all of it may only be a fragment, a small piece of a much larger puzzle that the traditional church, for reasons ranging from fear to neglect, has simply chosen to leave aside. I am not saying you were lied to. I am saying you were only told the beginning of the story. And the complete story, my friend, is breathtaking. In the middle of the oldest writings that have survived Chimi, long before the books of the Bible were compiled as we know them, there is the account of a man, a real man, of flesh and bone, whose name is recorded in the book of Genesis, buried in a list of genealogies that most people read right past without a second thought. But if you pay attention, you will see that this man breaks the pattern. Everyone else in that list follows the same refrain. He was born, he lived, he had children, he died, until you get to him. And when you get to him, the text changes. The Bible simply says that he walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. He did not die, he simply vanished. God ripped him out of this world. But what happened in between? What did he see while he was being taken? The writings of Enoch, which are quoted directly by one of Jesus' own brothers in the Bible, the Apostle Jude, give us the details that Genesis left out. And what Enoch described are the 7 layers of existence, 7 levels of reality that exist right now, at this very second, above your head, separated from you by nothing but an invisible membrane. 7 heavens. And I invite you to think with me for a second. If there are the 7 levels, that means everything we imagine as heaven might just be the entryway. And what Enoch found in the first heaven was not an angel choir of fluffy clouds. It was a cosmic ocean, a reservoir of celestial waters held in place by specialized angels, each with a specific function. The angel of snow, the angel of thunder, the angel of the winds, things that science calls natural phenomena, but which in reality are governed by spiritual beings in perfect obedience to God. If you think the world runs on accident, the first heaven already shows you that you are mistaken. But if the first heaven shows you order, the second heaven shows you chaos imprisoned, because it was there that Enoch found the fallen angels, the ones who rebelled in the days of Noah, and were cast into prisons of darkness. chained, awaiting judgment. And the most striking part is that these beings, who once had direct access to God, begged Enoch to intercede for them, because they knew their own prayers could no longer cross the abyss they themselves had created. Imagine the scene: a man, fragile, mortal, being begged by fallen principalities and powers. That shows you the weight that the intercession of a righteous man carries in the spiritual world. But the journey does not stop there. In the third heaven, Enoch was taken to a place he describes as a garden of indescribable beauty, with trees that emit healing fragrances, rivers of oil and honey, a place of light, a peace that he calls the dwelling place of the righteous. It is the same place Jesus called paradise when he said to the thief on the cross, "Today you will be with me in paradise." But it is the detail that sends chills to your spine. Right next to that garden, separated by an uncrossable chasm, there is a place of torment, a dark and cold location where the souls of the wicked wait in conscious suffering. The same reality Jesus described in the story of the rich man and Lazarus. Two destinations, one realm. What determines which side you wake up on after death is what you did with the grace of God while you still had breath. This is not theory. It is the description of a man who saw it with his own eyes. After that, Enoch was snatched up to the fourth heaven, and there he saw something that makes every worship service on earth look like an amateur rehearsal. He saw the sun and the moon in their courses, but not as dead stars in space. He saw that each of them is led by chariots of angels, escorted by beings who sing praises without ceasing as they move across the skies. It is what Psalm 19 says, "The heavens declare the glory of God." It is not poetry. It is a literal description of a celestial orchestra that has never stopped playing, not for 1 second, since the creation of the world. While you sleep, while you work, while you worry, the fourth heaven is echoing alleluias. In the fifth heaven, the mood shifts. Enoch finds a group of angels in silence, still, motionless. They were the watchers, high-ranking angels assigned to intercede for humanity, but who failed. They did not fall like those in the second heaven, but they also did not fully fulfill their calling, and because of that, they were in a state of perpetual mourning. Their silence is a reminder that spiritual negligence also carries weight. It is not just active evil that condemns. The omission of the good that should have been done also leaves eternal marks. In the sixth heaven, Enoch finds the celestial scribes, angels whose function is to record everything, every act, every word, every thought, every tear, and more importantly, every prayer. Have you ever felt ignored? Have you ever thought God does not hear what you ask? Then know this: in the sixth heaven, there are beings whose sole task is to collect your prayers, organize them, and present them before the Most High. Not one word of yours is lost. Not one cry of yours falls into the void. Revelation speaks of golden bowls full of incense, which are the prayers of the saints. Your prayer is being collected right now. And then, finally, Enoch arrives at the seventh heaven. The description changes. He struggles to describe it. The light is so intense that it is not something you see. It is something you feel on your skin, something that pierces your bones. He sees the seraphim, creatures of living fire with 6 wings, covering their faces and feet, crying out, Holy, 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 without end. He sees the cherubim, the thrones, the dominions, in at the center of it all, a throne of fire. He seated on the throne, someone with the appearance of jasper and sardius, a rainbow all around, a voice like the voice of many waters, the Ancient of Days, the living God. Enoch, a man, fell face down on the ground. He heard the voice that created the universe say, Draw near, Enoch, so that you may see and tell. And now I ask you, what would you do if you were in Enoch's place? If you could see, even for a second, the reality behind reality? If you knew that what is waiting for you on the other side is as concrete, as physical, as real as the floor beneath your feet? Most people live as if death were the end, as if this world were all there is. But it is not. There are the 7 layers of existence above you, and what happens in each one of them determines what happens in your life right now. The battle you face today is not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. The same regions Enoch traveled through, the same territory Jesus conquered when he ascended on high and led captivity captive. So, before you turn off this video and go back to your routine, I need you to understand something. You are not it by accident. The fact that you made this fact, that you heard about the 7 heavens, that you were exposed to this reality, is a calling. It is an invitation for you to stop living a shallow, surface level faith and to dive deep into what is real. It is a warning for you not to neglect your salvation. Because the same God who showed these things to Enoch is the same God standing with open arms, waiting for you today. He does not want you to perish. He wants you to have life, life abundantly. But that life begins with a choice. The choice to believe, to repent, to surrender control. If you felt something different just now, if this account stirred structures inside you, do not ignore it. Talk to God right now. You do not need fancy words. Just say, Lord, I want to know that reality. I want to walk with you like Enoch walked. I want to have the certainty that when I leave, I will wake up in paradise, not in torment. If that is your prayer, know that He heard it. If you want to go even deeper into these mysteries, if you want to understand how all of this connects to the entire Bible, stick around because what is still coming will show you that the story is far from over.